like, stop, stop. And the chicken would be like, running around with no neck. Like, and we'll be like, oh my goodness, that's where we get to eat. Yep. Sak passe tout le monde! Bienvenue na canal mwe a! What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Levian Becker. Welcome to part 2 of Storytime, Life in an Orphanage. For those of you who cannot relate, the best way I can have you imagine living in an orphanage is by comparing it to jail. Yes. Grandpa drops me off the orphanage and I don't hear from him again, ever again. So I lived in the orphanage for like 5 to 6 years. Within that whole period of time, I only left like 5 to 6 times. One of them, Papa Rico took a group of us to church. Another one, we went outside the orphanage to go throw away our dead dog that the Nelson killed. The Nelson, oh, you'll learn about him later. A few times I left to go do paperwork for the adoption. Another time was with my adoptive parents again, then the rest. Everything I did was at the orphanage, even school. There was 2 teachers. One was Roberto, and then the other one was Teacher Nana. So there was a group of kids that were with Roberto, and then a group of kids that were with Teacher Nana. Teacher Nana, of course, we call her, but her name is Sabrina. So I was with Roberto sometimes, and then I was with Teacher Nana another times. I have no idea how it worked or how they decide who went where, but I think the more intelligent kids were with Teacher Nana, and then, you know, the less intelligent were with Roberto. Some other kids got to go to school outside of the orphanage. I had the opportunity to, but for some reason I couldn't go. And here's the thing though, I never was the smartest kid. I remember struggling in school. Even learning my simple ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. Like, the only thing I ever remember was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I never thought I was smart per se, right? And so that's probably one reason that they wouldn't let me go to school outside the orphanage or some of the other kids. When it comes to playtime, we would play in the mud garden. We would play with the rats in the garden. Ooh, the rats are huge as heck. We would play with whatever we can find, whatever we would come up with. We were actually creative kids. Like, as an orphan, you learn to be creative and you learn to use your imagination, because we would build anything from paper knives to paper boats. Oh, one of our favorite things to do when it came to playing was kites. We loved to fly kites and build kites as well. Soccer was very fun. We would play soccer. One of our favorite things to do was play house, where we have mom and dad and then be cooking. We would actually build little mini fires in the dirt. We would pretend to cook and everything like that. And I remember one thing us guys used to do was take the girls' dolls, you know, the ones that have the seeds inside of them. We would use those as rice. And we would like tear them apart and cook them, put them in water and actually boil them, make them into rice. The orphanage that did need to be cleaned sometimes, so every year or every 2 years we would clean the orphanage. And let me tell you, those were fun days. We would take scrubs and just clean the whole entire orphanage floor. It was like one of the funnest times ever. We looked forward to cleaning the orphanage because it was actually pretty fun, because you get to slide around, scrub all day. So that day was fun. And once a year, the big giant truck would come with shoes. For me, I'm not one that likes wearing shoes, but it was exciting every time the truck would come. Within a few months, the shoes would be torn up. We like to play with our shoes too. Like, we're finding things to play with, and our shoes made up for the playing time. So we would actually tear our shoes apart to make stuff with it. When it came to food, we only have so much to eat. Every single day, 3 times a day, every single day. It was rice, it was chicken, it was cornmeal, it was riz avec sauce pois, bean sauce with rice. For breakfast, I wonder what's for breakfast. Rice pudding or spaghetti sometimes. A few times though, I remember we had pig and goat. Rico would actually get the goat very young, and then we would raise it at the orphanage, and when it came time, you slice it, throw it open, and we're eating it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, we got to see the goat get butchered. It's like, children, this is what you're gonna eat, okay? Bah! Bah! Oh God! Ugh. Oh, around our place, that guy's head cut off a few hours ago. I actually like goat. I miss it a lot. But we only ate it a few times though. And then same thing with pig. I had it just once. And same thing with the chicken. We would actually watch the chicken get butchered. The cooks, you know, they let us like kind of roam the place sometimes, but not often. We weren't allowed to be in that kitchen area. But when we were allowed to, we saw the chicken get cleaned up, get its neck sliced. This is exactly how it goes, people. So they would take the chicken right in front of us. Either I think they would either hold it down and chop its head off, or they would actually slice its throat, throw it under this bucket, you know, because it doesn't run around over the place. And then they would throw it under the bucket, and then you would see the bucket just moving. We're like, stop, stop. And the chicken would be like, running around with no neck. Like, and we'll be like, oh my goodness, that's what we get to eat. Yep. I guess that's life, you know. When it came to food again, I would have to say one of my favorite things I remember eating was mangoes. I remember the days of eating mangoes. There was, like, again, once in a while we would get this, but a mango truck would come. All the kids would eat mangoes after mangoes and sugar cane. A truck would come and bring us sugar cane, bring us mangoes. And not bananas though. All the bananas are my favorite. We didn't eat them a lot there. The mangoes, ooh, I dream of just eating Haitian mangoes all the time. It was actually pretty fun eating mangoes. Oh my gosh, peanut butter was one of my favorite things to eat there. During the night, oh my god, during the night when everybody was sleeping and the nannies there slept in the floor in the living room areas. There was another kitchen part in that area, and I remember sneaking through the night, crawling on the counter to eat peanut butter and brown sugar, sneaking through the night and just eating it, shoving my face full, and then sneaking back to bed so I don't wake up the nanny sleeping and stuff. Okay, this next part here is a pretty good one. So one time, these people, I think there were two women. It could have been a man and a woman, but there were two people came to check on the orphanage one time to make sure the orphanage was running correctly and the kids were getting fed and taken care of. So when that day was coming, everybody there were like praising all the orphan kids. They were scared because these people were going to evaluate all of those guys. They were going to ask us as the kids, like, how were you getting treated? Were you getting fed enough food? That day, they were being extra nice to us. They're like, oh, I'll bring you candy. I'll bring you candy. If you say this about me, if you be nice, I'll bring you candy, okay? Okay, we'll do that. We'll be nice to you. We'll say you treat us good if you bring me money and if you bring me candy. We. So they would take a group, some of us together, and ask us questions like, how many times a day were you getting fed? Actually, we're getting fed good. We got fed 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We told them everything they needed to hear. If there was one person that wasn't worried about what we were gonna say, it would be Roberto. Oh my god, let me tell you the story about Roberto. Roberto, I actually miss him quite a lot. Classes would start in the morning with him, and so every time we hear the gates open in the morning, all the kids would run outside to the gates like, Roberto, do some magic for us, do some magic. Do you have candy? Because he used to always just do magic tricks. So the kids were like, Roberto, do a magic trick. Do you have candy for us? He would be like, close your eyes. We'd close your eyes and stuff, and he's like, I'm gonna make candy appear on my hands. ooh, and be doing some voodoo stuff. Roberto was a pretty big dude, because every time the gate opened, we knew who he was, because like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, the whole orphanage would be shaking. Vira ta'u, turn your head. So I'm gonna make candy appear on my hand. He would reach under his big old belly, open your eyes, candy. And all the kids would be like, yeah, Roberto, do another magic trick. We would look forward to him doing magic tricks for us. When class starts, Roberto would go and get his stuff, and he would look out where he keeps his. He would look over at his stuff and notice his plank was gone. His plank was what he used to spank us with when we were bad. When we were being bad, he would spank us with the planks. And so during that time, those people came to check on us. When we would be telling them about Roberto, we would tell him about the plank he always hits us with. When class would start, he would go get his stuff, and he would look and notice that his plank is gone. And he would like, who took it? Where's the plank? Libian, did you take the plank? No, Roberto. I don't have it. I don't have the plank. Stephanie took it. Stephanie took the plank. Is that Stephanie? Ugenli? No, I don't have it. And he's like, Stephanie. No, Stephanie. Go to the wall right now. He would make us put our hands on the wall and make us turn our head so we couldn't see. When we didn't know something he was teaching us, he would make us go stand on the wall and spank us with it. And if he did not have that plank, he was getting a stick, and the stick hurt just as worse. He would make you put your hands out and just hits you with it. Oh my God! Put your hands out. Put your hands out. Hits us with him like, ah! Just cry, please, Roberto, it hurts. No, you're getting it. Put your hands out. And then he was like, Vira, turn your head. I swear he would make us turn our heads sometimes so we couldn't see. We're like, turn your head, and just hits us with it. Roberto wasn't there that day the ladies came, and so he was gone, and so we went and got the stick and showed them what he actually spanked us with. And so they were like, oh, okay, I see, check mark on the list. And then when it came to Teacher Nana, we talked nice about Teacher Nana. Teacher Nana was definitely at least my favorite, because she is the reason why Akon is my favorite artist, because she used to always listen to Akon. But Teacher Nana didn't stay at the orphanage for long. Teacher Nana got fired for some reason. So all the kids were sad because one day Teacher Nana was gone. We didn't know what happened to her. We were like, oh, and then we were told that she was fired. Roberto reached out to me. I found him on Facebook like a year ago. I was so excited to hear from him. Then we told the people about Papa Rico's friend. Papa Rico, I don't remember his name, but he was the guy that would come to the orphanage every time Papa Rico wasn't there. So we absolutely hated that dude. He was so mean to us. He crashed. So a little bit about him. Papa Rico had a black vehicle. I don't remember exactly what kind of, I think it was a truck, but I'm not sure. He crashed that truck into the water truck that always came to bring water to the well at the orphanage. Every time we heard he was gonna come to the orphanage, all the kids were so sad. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, I better be on my best behavior so I don't get beaten. And he would spank us with the end of the belt when we got in trouble. Dude, he wouldn't let us do a lot of things. We kind of hated him. And at the orphanage, when you get spanked or hit, if you cried, you were gonna get it even harder than last time. So in order to not get any more spankings, you would have to hold your tears in until the end. So we talked all nasty about that dude. The next people we talked about were the nurses. So the nurses always come in two pairs. A few years we had two, and they were very nice to us. Then the two nurses left, and then we got another two. And they were the meanest people ever. Like, everybody there were like, mean to a certain point. But those nurses were awful to us. They're the ones that make sure we're getting healed, but at the same time, they were making us feel miserable. Every time we got in trouble, they would lock us in this little room. The room wasn't too big either. It was a small room. They would make us stay in there for a week. So if you were locked up in that room and got in trouble, like sneaking out, you got double time. So if you had to stay there for a week, you were getting 2 weeks in there. I know personally, every time I went in there, I was in my best behavior. One of the most depressing times when being in there was when the adoptive parents would come see their kids. Every time an adoptive parents came to the orphanage, everybody was excited. We were like, cause we got to see them. They got to bring us stuff. We got to jump on them. It was one of the most exciting moments when they would come. So we would be locked up in there and we're not allowed to leave. If you got out, you were in big trouble. So as I remember just staying in there, like always tearing up because I couldn't go out to see them. Of course, I wouldn't be in there when my adoptive parents came though. So one of the things you had to do to get in that little room was if you peed your bed. Oh, we're just kids. We pee our bed all the time. So every time you peed your bed, you were sent to that room. I peed the bed like crazy. So in order to avoid staying in that room, I would sneak up in the middle of the night to change my sheets, I would make sure I throw it outside the window because all the doors would be locked at night. I would throw it outside the window by that laundry area. When it came to the morning, my bed was dry somewhat because the mattress was still wet, but I took out the sheets. And if the mattress was wet and the pee didn't sink all the way through, I would flip it around. They kind of got smart. They're like, those kids keep peeing the bed. We should put some pull-ups on them. So every night they would make the kids that wet the bed a lot wear pull-ups. So they would force us to wear pull-ups and stuff like that, and the kids were like, I ain't gonna wear no pull-ups. You know what I mean? And I remember Papa Rico actually spanking some of us for wetting the bed a few times. One of a superstition was, if you were in trouble for something, if you put a rock under your tongue, you might not get spanked by the time it's time to get your beaten. The bananas would be like, Papa Rico's coming home, don't worry, you're gonna get your beating. We were praising that when Papa Rico came home, we're not gonna get spanked. So we would put the rock under our tongue all day. It would be like a whole 4 hours for that time to come. And of course, sometimes they would either forget to tell Papa Rico we didn't get spanking, so we think the rock thing worked, or Papa Rico would just be like, yeah, you can go. I won't spank you. When we were in the jail cell, some of the kids would be bringing us food through the little window area with the bars. Yes, the funny thing about it is the whole orphanage had like little bars for the window, and so you couldn't just open windows. So the kids would like sneak food through there to us. If you were in trouble for something very, very bad, they would make you eat in that little jail cell. At the same time, some kids were allowed to go in there. The jail cell, that little jail cell, I'm gonna call it a jail cell because that's basically what it kind of was. There was a little bathroom in that area separately, and some kids were allowed to go in there. Oh my gosh. It was the most disgusting thing ever because they would go and use the bathroom and all the kids would plug that bathroom all the time and it would stink. Oh my gosh, it was so nasty because all the kids would plug that toilet all the time. The plumber would come to fix the toilet. Next day, it's broken. The plumber sucked. He couldn't fix crap. So he would come fix it. It was broken. Then the toilet is plugged again. Oh my gosh. The toilet got plugged. We had to eat in there. Kids would sneak us food in there. We weren't allowed to leave, go play with our friends. It was so depressing. Little jail cells, what I'm gonna call it. Little jail cell. That's the name for it. Little jail cell. One thing I did learn about being in there is if you are locked in there with one of your good friends, John Peter was my best friend. I hung out with him the most, and I consider him my best friend. But if I was locked in there, I hope John Peter was locked in there with me as well, or anybody that I really got along with. It was actually fun when you were in there with somebody. You would be able to play and just hang out and not think much of it, right? We were allowed to leave and go take a shower, you know. Okay, another story about shower times here. All the kids would take showers together, like all the kids, guys and girls. We all wear the same clothes. Guys, well, of course the girls wouldn't wear the guy shirt, but guy stuff. But some of the girls would wear, of course, t-shirts like the guys would wear too. But everybody basically wore the same thing. The girls, they all wear the same thing girls wear, and the guys wear the same thing all the guys wear. Before showers, or even the next day, I would go into the big laundry pile and hide the clothes I wanted to wear personally. And so I would be digging in there and hiding all the clothes either in the back of the pile or underneath other clothes, so when it's my turn to get dressed, I would go there and take it. The older kids would be able to dress themselves, and then the nannies would dress some of the kids that weren't able to get dressed on their own. And I remember the nannies dressing me, and then sometimes I would dress my own. Oh, I want this clothes, this clothes, I want this one, pick this one. Oh, when my adopted parents came, they would actually dress me nicely. They would make sure I wore the best clothes there was as well. So they would spray me, put powder under my pits and up here and up my butt and stuff like that, you know. They would make sure you look good and dress you up well. Also, when the adopted parents came, and everybody there were extra nice to us. They would be nice to us. But when they left, that's another story. Or even when my parents left, they were not nice to us at all. They would take everything we were given. For example, they would take our clothes. I remember mom and dad bringing me clothes, and then I would not see those clothes again. They would take it from us and either let all the other kids wear it or hide it. I actually kind of understood that because they were probably trying to keep that clothes nice. Because when the parents came, they didn't have us wear it again, which I understand that part. But sometimes even toys though, they would take the toys from us and not let us play with it. And again, I kind of understood that because all the other kids would be fighting over the toys. I would hide everything that I got. And so that's why every time I came to Montana, I hid everything I got from my siblings, from my brother. I would be hiding my own brother's toys. So every time I found something I like, I'm like, you're playing with this, I'm playing with it, it's my toy. I love hiding things. That's one thing I did a lot. I hid my stuff. Because living in an orphanage with 30 plus kids, if you're not taking care of your toy and putting it somewhere, it's not going to be yours no more. So I would hide all my toys and stuff like that. And even I would be hiding in the garden. I would even be burying my toy in the garden. I would dig holes, put a box in the hole, and then hide my toys in the hole with the box, you know, so the dirt doesn't get over it. Oh gosh, yes. For the most part, I don't have a story about every nanny specifically. Some of the nannies, they were alright. And I remember one nanny actually getting murdered, I believe it was, because she left during the day for something, and then came nighttime, she wasn't back, and so all the kids were like wondering what happened to her. And within the next day, we found out she got murdered, I believe. Like, she dead. One person that almost everybody liked, at least a lot of the guys, was Dukins. Dukins is Papa Rico's brother, and he was the policeman. We were in love with Dukins. You know, we're kids, we love policemen, we love guns. So Dukins was awesome. He was the one that introduced us to Grand Theft Auto as well, because he would play Grand Theft Auto on his little DS game. And we were like, oh my god, this is like amazing. I remember seeing that game and thought it was the most amazing thing ever. Because you get to drive cars, running into people, like shoot people all over. Like, I was like, what is this? Everything that was introduced to us, at least I remember personally, was amazing. And I know all the other kids were the same as well. They were impressed by the DS, the music, the iPod, not iPad, but the iPod mom and dad would bring. Woo. The music. I just loved it all, you know. Yeah. I remember learning about President Obama. We knew of what the U.S. was like, of course. We knew of Hannah Montana! Hannah Montana! Miley Cyrus, that is. Holy crap. That, you are the best of both worlds. I didn't even say it. I don't even know that song. But yes, Hannah Montana, that guitar, that sang like all her songs. Oh my God. Remember us always singing this song. Whoa. That's why every time I hear, well, I don't even hear it anymore, but when I did, I was like, oh, I remember that. I don't even know the words. I don't pay attention to it. I just remember singing it. And you get the best of words. But yeah, that's it for ya. Hannah Montana. The best of both worlds. The best of both worlds, baby. Hi. This is the life now. You see, I get the best of both worlds. Me learning about my own culture, representing Haiti, is having me the best of both worlds. That's probably why I jam to this song. I don't jam to this song, I'm kidding. Representing America and representing Haiti. Woo woo! Best of both worlds. How much, baby? The innocent little girl we knew of is now Miley Cyrus shaking her booty on a wrecking ball. I came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah, people go crazy. People go crazy. Them drugs will get to you. Looking back, I definitely can say I understand the reason for a lot of the stuff that happened. Could you imagine taking care of 30 plus kids ranging from 1 to 13 and an orphanage in Haiti in a place of poverty like that? That probably can be so stressful. So there's no rules of how to properly be doing this stuff. That is the end for part 2. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope there was at least one thing any of you can take away from this. Rather that's an eye-opener to something new, to a new perspective of life, or just the confidence to start sharing your story. Hashtag the OHF family for life. Feel free to hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Always remember to smile, 'cause you're a star. Shine on. Peace. Peace.